Nicole Heltmack. I'm here with Ann Thompson. We met Leanne through our business. We do competition prep and also general nutrition. We are here today to discuss a little bit about Leanne and her journey through her eating disorders. So it's not necessarily related to her competition, but it's definitely something that I feel very inspired by her, and I feel like she can inspire other women to continue through their lives that they want to create a healthy life and find different ways to do so within themselves. So Leanne, can you tell us a little bit about when your journey or when you figured that something was wrong?
Mm-hmm. So when I was about 19, so my first year of college, I went away to school. I was the first one in my family to go away to school. It was a big change being, away from family and friends, just far away. Things were different. I tend to be the type that puts a lot of pressure on myself, and to succeed, I played soccer in college and went on a scholarship. So kind of just not having my priorities right, I decided that it would be really important for me to play and earn a starting spot my freshman year. And so in order to do that, I thought in my head, I'll do stuff that other people, aren't doing, and that'll help me get an edge or whatever. And like I said, I tend to be kind of that focused type. So I started running extra on top of everything that, college sports requires anyway, practice and lifting and all that. So I ran really far, probably 10 miles, 5 times a week. That's a lot. And maybe as some know, I have a really fast metabolism. So I definitely did not take care of myself as far as eating enough. And I knew that even back then that I had to eat a lot, and being sad in a way and having those priorities shift and just my importance, focused on only doing well, at soccer and not having those other things. I totally focused on that and wound up probably the lowest that I weighed was 100 pounds. I was super skinny. And
so did you feel like did you know in your mind that you were running or putting yourself out there to hit a specific weight or to look a certain way, or was it just something that you were so immersed with just your performance and trying to...
Yeah, for me, I never, I've always been kind of skinny, even before that I was skinny, so it wasn't a thing for me where I looked in the mirror one day or decided I need to look like this. It was just I was recruited as a forward, and then as I went to college, my new position was going to be midfield, and that involves a lot of running, and so I thought, I can beat these seniors by just basically running myself into the ground, which I did, and unfortunately I did win a starting spot, which kind of only exacerbated what was going on. So I continued to do it, and I had success that season, but did I have happiness? No, not even a little bit. I was stressed out and depressed being away from home and not having friends and family around, and yeah. So for me, it wasn't an image thing. I never looked. I mean, I realized I was skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. And obviously people started to notice and they would say stuff. But to me, it was no, I'm doing this thing right now. And so, yeah.
So it was more of you were focused on your end goal about being the best within your team.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you find yourself when you knew that you had an eating disorder, or call it, to that point?
Mm-hmm. Well, that whole year, I knew I was really unhappy and depressed. And of course, even though I did well, I begged my parents to come home, and I know it was probably the most awful thing that they've ever had to do, but they basically told me no, you're going to stay. And my parents are great, and I think they knew that it was obviously, first of all, I had already signed a contract saying I'd play. Mm-hmm. Again, so that is a big thing. They were you're going to honor it, and they supported me through, and obviously they knew I was way too skinny, and I tried, to work through my head that year, but it wasn't until the next year, when I met my husband, that I really it opened my eyes and made me reshift my focus and gain that balance between exercise and eating and just, having happiness around me and focusing on something different other than what I had in my brain as like, this is success, or, this is happiness, or whatever it was. That was not it. So that's kind of
So do you feel like sometimes eating disorders don't necessarily happen consciously? Obviously, It sounds like a situation for yourself that it was unconsciously because you were just trying to keep yourself busy because you're homesick.
Yeah.
And then from what I understand, you said you met your husband. So I guess having a spouse or a partner or somebody that's supporting it kind of opened your eyes a little bit.
I think it definitely opens your eyes, like makes you, like I said, just kind of refocus on those good things in your life and not whatever that reason is that's driving you to do that. I mean, it makes you just see that that's not the most important thing, and that you can gain balance between all those things in your life and just have happiness, around you. And
So now with your husband, was there a certain point in your relationship that he had maybe noticed something? Or
no, heaven knows like what he saw in me when I was like 100 pounds and so skinny. But I mean, he from the beginning, it was literally like almost overnight. I mean, even before that, because it wasn't soccer season anymore, I was like trying my best to kind of work through. We're still practicing and all that stuff. And then it was like he never said anything. Probably he knew I was skinny, and obviously over time, like I told him I used to be even skinnier and whatever. But I just started eating like a ton, like more than now, which is insane.
Did that change your physique at all? Did you notice any difference?
Oh yeah, I got a lot fatter and worse at soccer, but I didn't care at all. I didn't care.
So what do you think you would tell the people that will be watching this video, or women and men, because it's not just women? It just seems maybe women are a little bit more vocal.
Right.
So what would you like to share as far as to how you answered those questions for yourself?
Right. Yeah. Well, basically what I've come to realize through it takes a lot of time, but is that happiness is your choice every day, and that when you wake up, it doesn't matter like what's going on around you. You choose that every day. So, I mean, place that happiness on the right things, and remember that kind of everything that happens to us in our life only has like meaning or value because we put it there. It doesn't have any meaning until you decide, is it good? Is it bad? Is it whatever? Like you put that there. So wake up every day and just choose to be happy. And I guess also be yourself, because all the right people will be there in your life for the right reasons when you're doing that. And
so just being honest with yourself.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to admit, I guess, if you have, a problem.
Good. And then also too, we did mention that we met you through doing a competition. And we know in the industry of bodybuilding, a lot of competitors have a tendency to, they lack their nutrition. They're very much in a deficit, and they push it to the extreme. Was that a concern of yours, not knowing the industry so much for yourself and stepping into maybe that could trigger something for you? Or how did you handle that?
Yeah, I wasn't very concerned because my life is just so much different and more stable, and just I've had such a stable life like since that time. I've never really looked back on it or even had those feelings, fortunately for me, but I know everybody can be different. Mainly my concern, and like I told Tyler when I met him, like there's no way that if somebody told me to eat nothing or, eat asparagus and only asparagus and chicken, I would have been like, no, I don't think so. Not going to happen. So I was excited and feel really blessed that it was like I wound up in the right, with the right people. And I think it'll be a long lasting, fun thing for me because of that. And
Nutrition wise, your performance, because you've done a lot of sports, I think it's cool that you played football. And now that you're training, you are eating a lot of food, but also to competition day, your nutrition and your diet was very different than a lot of the competitors. We've spoke about it, that you felt like you were kind of the odd one. Was there conversations that you had with other women people?
So I asked Tyler before, and I told maybe you too, I was like, give me some business cards because I'm going to pass these out. Because having been there, in that place with just that lack of balance between nutrition and, working out and stuff, that is not a fun place to be. And you can just see it on a lot of these people's faces. And everybody wants to win and do well, but it's like there's a right way and a wrong way to balance all that with your life. And so I felt inspired to like pass out cards and, you know, stuff like that. And I did. And I asked girls, like, please tell me you're drinking and eating. And they were on, a lot of them were like no or yes or whatever. But I mean, and I've tried to continue to inspire people to do it the proper way. And like, yeah.
Oh, good. So I also know that you've been asked to maybe play again. So do you feel like there's another sort of mindset for you to fuel your body differently? Like, do you think that that's going to affect your game?
Yeah, I think it would. I doubt that I'm going to play because I think it'll just, it would be too much. I'm not trying to eat like more than I'm already eating. So I don't think I'll play, but that's just because I really like this now. So it's kind of that's how I am. Just kind of do it and move on to the next thing and try to conquer that. So I'm cool with that.
So can you tell me where your intake is today and how many weeks out
What's
you
it
are
at
from the
today?
show?
I don't, I'm at 430 grams of carbs, which I'm pretty horrible at hitting, 100 grams of fat and 165 grams of protein. And that's a little bit more than I was eating going into the show. So, and I've gained, some weight since then, but.
Well, you look great, and I'm sure most people that are going to see this will be like, where does she gain her weight? But I'm sure if all of you look at her pictures online, you'll be, well, that's where it went, because she's pretty swole. So,
nice.
Well, thank you for coming in and talking with us and sharing. And that's what we need, is more women to kind of talk about their progression of, or anybody for that matter, as far as any life situations they have. You have a lot of support, but it's also good to share too, because you do inspire people, as you have in your own way. Thank you.
Thanks. Yep.